Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3 and in your top stories at this hour. Tensions flared at Mampuru prison as MPs at the ad hoc committee clashed over Vusimuzi Cat Matlala's unsigned statement.
As you've heard, we learned that an agreement has been reached between you and the evidence leaders.
Meanwhile, the Madlanga Commission adjourned its hearings early today by agreement between the evidence leaders and KwaZulu-Natal Hawks head, Major General Leseja Senona.
Bail fixed at 50,000 rands, payable at the clerk of the court, Magistrate Pretoria, prior to the release of the accused.
And Gauteng High Court Judge Portia Patlane and two co-accused have been granted bail in the high-profile money laundering case involving the International Pentecost Holiness Church. A very good evening to you and welcome to Prime News on SABC 3. My name is Beki Mutumomolete. Tonight we explore the events that are impacting our lives and defining the future. Let's get into our leads, and here they are. We launch with this. Tensions flared at the Mampuru prison as MPs at the ad hoc committee clashed over Vusimuzi Cat Matlala's unsigned statement. Despite objections, the hearing went ahead.
MK Party MPs questioned the affidavit's credibility, but the ANC, the DA and the EFF members pushed for progress. Matlala took the oath admitting a previous conviction.
In 2001, I ended up being convicted for buying stuff which was illegal, and I've been sentenced to 4 years in prison. And right up until 2017, that's when I formally registered my business. My first business, it was a security business.
Matlala outlined his business interest, starting with security for Gauteng schools and late taxi boss Jotham Msibi. He stressed it was strictly business. For 3 years, his company, Cat VIP Protection, guarded Msibi, a feared taxi boss. Matlala revealed Msibi's funeral drew big names such as former Police Minister Bheki Cele, EFF leader Julius Malema, and alleged drug kingpin Katiso KT Mulife.
He was a businessman. He was also the founder of Santago, which is a taxi association. And then he had other businesses. And the nature of my relationship with him, he was my client, providing security services for him.
So there were a few more other prominent people at that funeral?
Yeah.
Pressed on SAPS tenders, Matlala dodged details. He confirmed the lease with Public Works to turn SAPS Training College into a clinic, insisting it's not in dispute. On the 2 billion rands Tembisa Hospital saga, Matlala denied any role, saying he was never approached by law enforcement and doesn't know why his name keeps resurfacing.
First of all, that hospital, I've been trying to secure the lease for, I think, for the past 3 years. So when they're saying I knew about I'll get a tender, for me does not add up.
Vusi Cat Matlala testified that he met suspended Deputy National Commissioner Lieutenant General Sibia on 3 occasions. He says 2 meetings were about his lease agreement with the Department of Public Works to convert SAPS Training College premises into a clinic. The 3rd meeting, Matlala revealed, was about the kidnapping of Jerry Bushuga, whom he confirmed was his friend and a close business associate. Tomorrow, the committee is expected to dig deeper into SAPS tenders and high-profile killings.
In more related news, the Madlanga Commission adjourned its hearings early today by agreement between the evidence leaders and KwaZulu-Natal Hawks head, Major General Leseja Senona. SABC News has learned that Senona's lawyers have been seeking documents from the Commission since he was subpoenaed on the 13th of November. However, the documents had seemingly not been received at the time of his scheduled testimony, affecting the readiness of the witness. Senona is implicated in evidence relating to alleged cartel member Vusimuzi Cat Matlala and the alleged benefit he afforded to high-ranking officials. It is alleged that Matlala had purchased the property for Senona through his son Tato. It is unclear if the transaction was completed. Senona will now appear before the Commission on the 27th of January 2026. Chairperson of the Commission, retired Justice Mbuyiseli Madlanga, read out a ruling to that effect earlier today.
By agreement between General Sinona and the evidence leaders, the following is ordered. 1. It is recorded that General Sinona is in possession of all documents emanating from the Commission that he requires to consider for the purposes of preparing his witness statement. 2. General Sinona will furnish to the Commission on or before 16 January 2026 a sworn statement addressing the issues listed in the subpoena dated 13 November 2025 for him to appear to give evidence before the Commission. 3. General Sinona will appear before the Commission on 27 January 2026 at 9:30 to testify and be questioned. You understand that, General?
His mic is off.
Oh, your mic is off.
Thank you, Commissioners. I do understand. Thank you.
The watchdog judges matter has called on the Gauteng High Court judge charged with corruption to immediately step down. The judge was arrested alongside 3 others, including a leader of a well-known church. They appeared in the Pretoria Specialized Commercial Crimes Court today on allegations of corruption and money laundering. Judge Portia Pahlane was granted 50,000 rand bail, while her son Kagiso and Vusindala are out on 10,000 rand bail each. IPHC leader Michael Sandlana was denied bail. The Judges Matter coordinator Alison Tilly says that they are deeply shocked at the turn of events. Tilly has also called on the Judicial Service Commission to act swiftly and place the judge on suspension.
Bail fixed at 50,000 rands, payable at the clerk of the court, Magistrate Pretoria, prior to the release of the accused. And 2, the accused is duly warned to appear in the above court number 18, Commercial Crimes Court, starting from the 6th of March 2026, 8:30 in the morning, and on further days scheduled for her appearance. 3, accused must not interfere with police investigations or state witnesses directly or indirectly. The accused must not commit other offences when released on bail.
When we return, the Gauteng Education Department says that there were minor hiccups when pupils were sitting for their last matric examinations. We unpack this and more after the break. Welcome back to Prime News on 3. Today marks 1 year since the Constitutional Court heard the EFF's bid to challenge the rationality of the National Assembly's 13 December 2022 decision to not adopt the Section 89 independent panel report into the Phala saga. The said report made adverse findings against President Cyril Ramaphosa, stating, amongst other things, that he may have a case to answer, but Parliament voted against the adoption of the report. EFF turned to the Apex Court last year, charging that Parliament acted irrationally by not referring it to the impeachment committee. President Cyril Ramaphosa opposed the application, contending that it was ill-founded. A year later, the judgment remains reserved, and the EFF will be marching to the Constitutional Court on Friday to demand accountability and the release of the judgment. The Gauteng Education Department has stated that there are minor hiccups, or were minor hiccups, when pupils were sitting for their last matric examinations. Calvin Ludler filed the following report.
In a recent media statement, the Gauteng Education Department expressed the sadness over the death of a grade 12 learner in Hartbeespoort. Despite these tragedies, the department says matric exams have proceeded smoothly across the province.
We are actually finalizing the process today. We've been managing exams, and up to so far we didn't encounter challenges. We decided to come here to showcase the Maritime School of Specialization. As you know, that this school will be focusing on maritime economy.
The Gauteng Liquor Board has warned against pens down parties as matric exams conclude, citing risks linked to alcohol abuse and reckless behavior. The board also issued a stern warning to establishments against selling alcohol to minors.
There are some amongst the learners who might be tempted to celebrate through what is commonly known as pens down. We want to caution them and also warn them not to consume alcohol.
Basic Education Minister Siviwe Kwahube is expected to announce matric exam outcomes on the 12th of January, with candidates receiving their statements on results the following day. Calvin Lula, SABC News, Sharpeville.
Next up, the people responsible for leading municipalities must be empowered to effectively address service delivery issues. That is the view of the South African Local Government Association President, Beke Stofile. He was speaking on the sidelines of the SALGA National Members Assembly in Durban.
Over 900 delegates from across the country's 257 municipalities have converged here to address the current state of municipalities. It follows recent Auditor General's findings that 53% of municipalities have failed to comply with consequence management legislation.
Part of the conversation that we had over many longest period of time is to give capacity to municipal staff, councillors that had to play an oversight. So it's a continuous project. It's not a once-off thing.
The Auditor General's report warned that at least 99 municipalities risk losing their unqualified audit status if weaknesses in compliance controls are not addressed.
Amongst other issues that are going to be discussed in this meeting would be how do we legislatively bring those new dimensions into this whole equation? How do we look at issues of the review of the funding model of municipalities?
The conference will end on Thursday. Simpiwe Makanya, SABC News, Durban.
After the break, soldiers in Guinea-Bissau on state television saying that they have seized power in the country following reports of gunshots near the presidential palace. More on this when we return. Thank you for staying with us. Guinea-Bissau's President Umaro Sissoco Embalo has been arrested by armed men after gunfire was heard near the presidential palace. That's according to government sources who spoke to the BBC. Witnesses in the capital Bissau heard gunshots at around 3 p.m. this afternoon, but it was not immediately clear who was involved in the shooting. The reports come just days after the coup-prone West African country held presidential and legislative elections in which the main opposition candidate was disqualified. The results were expected on Thursday. Both Embalo and his closest rival, Fernando Diaz, have claimed victory. Africa must reposition itself to tackle a myriad of challenges that are hindering the continent's economic growth. That has been one of the dominant issues at the Africa Investment Forum in Rabat, Morocco. The African Development Bank Group President, Dr. Sidi Uta, officially opened the gathering. He says that there is an urgent need for the continent to mobilize its resources.
The Africa Investment Forum remains a significant platform in bringing together the private and public sectors to work hand in hand to unlock Africa's enormous economic potential. The African Development Bank Group says it's time for implementation.
It is about investment for our people, for our economic prosperity, and for our shared future.
It means ensuring macroeconomic and financial stability, which remains the primary condition for any investment. It means modernizing our regulatory frameworks, strengthening transparency, and providing investors with the clarity that expect, not as a favor, but as a reciprocal commitment.
Some of the key players here say they are buoyed up to be here after South Africa concluded its G20 summit.
My overall take is we have been speaking about these issues, be it just transition, be it infrastructure development, but what the summits of this nature of the Africa Investment Forum are all about. It's about prioritization and implementation.
The gathering is taking place as Africa is mobilizing its resources in a harsh geopolitical environment with the rise of unemployment, climate change and trade wars. But the delegates are fairly optimistic that they will turn ambitions into action. Kailihle Kumalo, SABC News, Rabat, Morocco.
And now let's take a look at the market snapshot for the day as at 7:30 this evening. South Africa expects Wales to fight to the bitter end, no matter what the match situation is, when the two teams clash in the Boks Challenge of 2025 in Cardiff. Springbok and Lions scrum half Morné van der Berg says that his experience of the Welsh teams in the United Rugby Championship is that they never give up, even in a lost cause.
The Springboks lost a few players due to club commitments, but those that are available should be strong enough to beat Wales. The home side also will have to do without at least 13 players, which make the Springboks even bigger favourites. Van den Berg says no matter who plays for Wales, they will breathe fire.
Yes, he's such a tough man, competitive, not afraid of anything, willing to fight, to chase lost causes. So yeah, experience in the URC has really been guys that's willing to fight for each other.
Springbok hooker Johan Grobbelaar says the squad system that's been in place with the Springboks makes it less challenging when players are not available.
I think what helped us is the last couple of weeks training together. We were mixing in and out, changing staff. So we got to know the guys, even the younger guys that I haven't played with a lot, and got some opportunities. So this weekend, I think, with some new combinations, I'm sure we'll be ready for the battle.
The Boks Matchday 23 will be announced on Thursday. Harry Olivier, SABC News.
It is now time for us to see what the weather has in store for us. Your forecast is coming up next.
Thank you very much and a very warm welcome to the Weather Desk. Time for us to look at those conditions over the country and look what's happening for tonight. We do have a surface trough that's sitting over the interior of the northern Cape, and over up in the air we do have some disturbance, and also we do have a high pressure system that's reaching in. So we do have three systems basically that's causing havoc over that eastern half of the country. That is why we do expect some rainy conditions, up to 60% chance of showers and thunder showers over the interior of Limpopo, stretching into the northwest, becoming isolated over Gauteng all the way into KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape for tonight. For tomorrow, a bit of intensify is expected. Now up to 80% chance of showers and thunder showers is now predicted as we move into the interior of Limpopo, scattered over Gauteng, Free State stretching into KwaZulu-Natal, where we do expect that 80% chance of showers and thunder showers for tomorrow. Now talking about tomorrow, we do expect a level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm as we move into Limpopo, and also that level 2 warning of severe thunderstorm is expected over Maletswai and surrounding areas, stretching into parts of Free State, becoming a level 1 as we move into KwaZulu-Natal. Do remember these severe thunderstorms can be accompanied by large amount of small hail. Heavy downpours which can lead to flooding in places, and also as we move towards the coast, it is a level 1 warning of some damaging winds because of that high pressure system that's reaching in. We're looking at our temperatures for tonight. It is a relatively cool night over most of the country. We are talking 9 over Sandland, 22 over Upington, Pretoria at a minimum of 15. Polokwane will be dropping down to 16. Maximum temperatures for tomorrow, it is quite a warm day over Limpopo with those rainy conditions expected, especially as we move towards Musina. We're expecting a high of 32, 35. Over Palabra, we do expect those heat-induced severe thunderstorms for tomorrow, 28 over Durban. Moving towards the central parts of the country, also expecting hot conditions, especially over Kimberley with a high of 33. Upington, scorching temperatures for tomorrow with a maximum of 38. It is going to be a warm day as we move towards Cape Town. We're expecting a high of 29. That's all the weather I have for you. Stay tuned.
As the news desk closes for the night, we thank you for trusting us to bring you the stories that shape our world. We will be back tomorrow with fresh perspectives, new insights, and the latest news. From myself, Becky, and the team, stay ahead. Good night.